What is up, everybody? My name is Justin, and this is Forever Self-Employed, and in today's video, we're going to be doing episode number 9 of Flipping Cars for Cash. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, new to the series, basically this is me documenting the process of purchasing a vehicle, fixing it up, and selling it for a profit. So if that sounds like something that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Now, if you are a return subscriber and viewer of the channel, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on this video, especially if you like the Flipping Cars for Cash series. Last episode we did got 189 likes, and I'm trying to crush that in this video. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this one. The vehicle that we will be flipping for this video is a 2002 Ford Ranger Super Cab. This vehicle at the time of purchase had 129,000 miles. Now, we purchased this vehicle for $2,900, and upon the purchase we knew that it needed a couple new tires. So tires, oil change, fuel levels topped off, ended up costing about $350. And then we also had to register the vehicle once it was driven back to where we live, and taxes on the vehicle were $200. At the time of purchase, we did not realize this, but there was some noise in the front end. We brought it to the mechanic that we typically go to, and it ended up being a couple of different things: ball joints as well as upper control arms. And I'll go ahead and play a video of him kind of showing what it looked like before.
And there's a problem. That is totally worn out, and that's where all your noise is. So that's your two ball joints. Control, look at there. You see that? Yeah, it's just going. And then there's supposed to be 4 of these bushings on each one. See there how there's 2 there, right. and it should be another one here. Those bushings are totally gone.
So all in all, after everything that the mechanic did to the vehicle with new ball joints, new upper control arms, and he also did a few more odds and ends for us, it ended up costing an additional $800, which was very unfortunate. We didn't hear the noise in the beginning, so it's just more of a learning experience, because that's definitely going to cut into the profit margin. After that, we just had a miscellaneous $50 that went into the vehicle, you know, with air fresheners and things of that sort. So a total investment on the vehicle of $4,250. Now, after this, we like to go through the entire vehicle, do a deep detail, as well as fix some of the things that were broken, and I'll go ahead and talk you guys through that. So now I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through the full detail. There is a full detail video that I will leave linked in the comment section and the description. That video is a 15-minute long video that takes you guys through every single step that we did in this video. It's a time-lapsed video, and it is still 15 minutes. So we put a lot of work into this, and I'm just going to go ahead and briefly cover it here. So first and foremost, my dad did a buff job on this vehicle, and that's very understated because he did such an immaculate job. He took out so many surface level scratches. I'll be sure to put up a screenshot on the screen of the before and after of the vehicle, as well as maybe a few clips of him kind of talking through what he did as far as the buffing goes. But he did a great job of getting this vehicle looking much newer in much better shape. So after the buffing process, we went ahead and washed off the vehicle to get all the dust particles and everything else off of it. And then I did an interior detail on the vehicle, which includes wiping everything down, getting those door jambs nice and clean. I don't think a lot of people realize that when you open up a car door, you don't necessarily see the door jambs, but if the door jambs are spotless, it really makes a difference in people's minds. So the door jambs are incredibly important, as well as getting that dash very clean as well. And then I also did a carpet and seat cleaning. Now, I'm not a carpet or seat cleaning expert by any means, and a few people left some good constructive criticism on that video that I will be implementing in future carpet and seat cleaning video portions of these car detailing videos. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the good feedback on that. So after the interior was detailed, we did a few other things, including I repainted the front grille. As you guys can see from the before pictures, the front grille was very faded. It just looked old. So I came through, masked everything off, plasti dipped the whole front grille, and as you guys can see, the end product looks much newer than it did in the beginning. So the grille turned out great, much darker, and it looked much better. After that, we went ahead and touched up the headlights. We do this headlight polishing process that I'll walk you guys through here in a second. We used to buy new headlights, however, it just ended up costing too much, eating into the profit, and then once we discovered that we could just clean them up ourselves, we changed up our strategy. So I start off with a wet sand. It's 1,000 grit. I hit it once, and then I hit it with a 1,500 grit, polishes them up, and they just come out much nicer, much clearer lenses, and it just helps that front end look even newer. After that, I did a wheel well undercoating. I'm using undercoating that I just got from Sam's. It's a cheap undercoating, but it's going to preserve underneath the vehicle and also just make it look better. Those wheel wells are going to be really dark, and then if anybody crawls under it to look at it, it's just going to be dark under there. This truck did come from up north, so it did have a little bit of rust, but that undercoating just really makes the underside of the vehicle look better, which might be small detail to some people, but it makes a big deal in the grand scheme of things. So after the undercoating, we went and polished out the rims, which is very evident, something that you want to do on every vehicle that you do. But as you guys will notice, the white walls are facing outside. We did that. We made them do that whenever we got the tires put on. We just find that it makes it look a little bit better than just having the black walls. Having those white walls, being able to shine those up, it just makes the truck look newer. We feel it makes it look nicer as well. After that, I went ahead and removed some of the decals and stickers that whoever the previous owner had put on the back window. We also fixed the interior door support, just needed a few screws in it, and that solved that problem. We also did an engine cleaning on this vehicle, which I did not record. We will record that in the future videos. So it includes us pressure washing out the engine with the engine running, and then we spray an engine cleaner on it, which really polishes it up nicely. After that, we installed some new floor mats that I got from O'Reilly's. They covered up some of the dirt spots that were in the vehicle. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the floor as clean as I wanted to, so the new floor mats really helped out with that. And then last but not least, we put a new Ford front plate on the vehicle. We like to do this with all the Ford Rangers that we flip. The Ford plates are relatively inexpensive, like $25, and it just makes the front end look even nicer. So the combination of repainting the front grille, the headlight polish, and then that front plate, it just all comes together very nicely, and it ends up looking very, very good in the pictures. As you guys can see here, I'll make sure to put all the pictures that I uploaded on the Facebook right here, and the pictures are a big deal, and that's what really sells my cars, because people fall in love with them before they even see them, and that's very important. Okay, so now once all that was done, the truck was listed. I listed it out at $5,400. We wanted to get as close to $5,400 as we possibly could, because that $800 in mechanical work really took a big chunk of the profit out. However, it's just a learning experience. Is something that you have to deal with. So asking price was $5,400. Now, the first day that I had it posted, somebody messaged me saying that they wanted to see it the following day. My dad had to show it because unfortunately I had to go out of town. It was an older gentleman that looked at it. He really liked it, thought it was incredibly clean, which is one of the things that we pride ourselves on these vehicles. We can't really flip the volume that we would like to, so we just make sure that every one we flip is incredibly clean, so that way it sells as fast as possible. So it was an older gentleman who came and looked at it. He offered us $4,800, and my dad countered at $51. And of course, it was the first day that we had it posted. Like, literally the day after I had it posted, this guy was coming to look at it. So we're not really flexible in the price. We're not going to budge too far on the price. So he stayed firm at 51. The guy said, I have to go talk to my wife about it and see what she has to say. So the man walked and he never came back, which is unfortunate, but it happens. And like I said, I was already getting a couple other messages from people. So it wasn't something that we were going to compromise that early on in the vehicle sales. Maybe later on, if we were a little bit more desperate, or, we'd held it for longer, we would said, $4,800 will do. But for right now, we're going to sit on $5,100. A few days later, like 2 to be exact, a younger guy messaged me on Facebook. He said, hey, I want to see the truck. He came out. He loved the vehicle. He said it was the cleanest one that he had seen, and he had looked at 5 others.
God damn, she clean, huh?
So that was a big compliment to us. He ended up offering the same as the other guy, $4,800.
So are we stuck on 54 or what?
I mean, I have a little bit of room. Obviously, I like to stay, as close set as I can. If you have what were you thinking?
I was thinking around 48.
You know what? I just posted it.
Yeah.
So my dad's really stuck on 5,000. Like, that's where he wants to be at, is 5K, which is $600 off of what I was asking. So that's why I usually bump my asking price even higher than what the Kelly Blue Book is on it. That way I have enough room to come down. And that way, if it doesn't sell in a week, I can come down a little bit. It doesn't sell in another week, I can always come down just a little bit. So he offered 48. I countered at $5,000. He agreed and said he just needed to go to the bank.
I can do 5K.
Okay.
I had to get back shit in a week, get the money, and get the bank squared away and everything.
Okay, that's cool. And then we exchanged numbers. Now, I talked to you guys in the last video about having motivated buyers and how that was very important. I could tell from the beginning that this guy was a motivated buyer because I told him that we would schedule a time on a certain day. He texted me that morning. He said, hey, are we still good to go? What time are we meeting? Once we went out there, we agreed that he was going to purchase the vehicle. I was like, well, I need a down payment or I can't hold it for you. He didn't give me a down payment, but what he did was he was like, hey, look, I'll give you my number. That way we can get in contact easier. And he was just very eager. He was like, I'll call my bank today. I'll text you later on and let you know what they say. He was very much ready to buy, and that's the kind of people that you want to sell to. So we exchanged numbers. We met a few days later, took care of all the paperwork. Now, I did have some problems a little bit after the sale, probably about like 5 hours after he picked up the vehicle. He called me and said, hey, the engine is smoking and it's running hot, which we drove this vehicle all over the place. I mean, put a couple 100 miles on it, easy, and we had never had any issues with it. So I said, you know what, dude, it's probably just burning off some of the engine cleaner that we put on it. He said, all right, well, I'll drive it around for a little bit longer, see if it clears up. It did clear up. He never texted me again until he texted me and said, hey, it's revving really high. And I was like, that's weird. It's never revved high before, but he accidentally had it in the high gear instead of just having it in regular drive. So there was a few little exchanges after I'd sold the vehicle, which kind of worried me a little bit, because anytime somebody texts you and says, hey, the vehicle is smoking and the engine is running hot, as soon as they buy it, it's just like, it just makes your stomach drop a little bit. But, you know, because I never want to sell a vehicle to anybody that I wouldn't drive myself, and I never want to give anybody the raw end of the deal, because we put a lot of work into this vehicle. We took a lot of pride in this vehicle. So we offered him a quality product, and for him to text me and call me and tell me that, you know, the vehicle was smoking or that it was revving high, it just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But we ended up getting everything cleared up. I texted him a few days later, making sure that the vehicle was running okay and everything else was good, and he said it was. So at the end of the day, we learned a couple lessons. We learned that we need to vet the cars a little bit more, because obviously the $800 expense that we had to pay the mechanic took a lot of the profits. However, we ended up selling the car for $5,000, so we ended up making a total profit of $750, which is pretty good, and it goes to show you how good these vehicles sell in my area. So anyway, learned a lot of good things from this one. We're going to take that into the next one and into the next one, and we're just going to get better and better. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button for me. I really appreciate it. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and until next time, hustle hard and get that money. Peace.